I'm always looking for ways to show my cat how much I love her. And with Fancy Feast gems, I can pamper her whenever I want with a savory gravy on top of a gourmet mousse pâté. The pyramid shape makes serving simple, so all I have to do is peel and plate to make mealtime feel extra fancy. And with 2 entrees in every pack, it's easy to turn every day into the extraordinary. Fancy Feast gems.
Wish you could become a morning person? You know the type, up before the sun, early morning runs, first one to the office with donuts and a smile. How do they do it? Easy. With the new Galaxy Watch 8, sleep tracking and personalized insights from Samsung Health help you improve so you can wake up to a whole new you. One who, dare I say it, skips the snooze? It's possible. Train your sleep with Galaxy Watch 8. Learn more at Samsung.com. Requires compatible Samsung Galaxy phone, Samsung Health app, and Samsung account.
For a limited time at McDonald's, get a Big Mac extra value meal for $8. That means 2 all-beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun, and medium fries, and a drink. We may need to change that jingle.
Prices and participation may vary.
This podcast is supported by FX's English teacher. Last year's critically acclaimed series returns to follow Evan, Gwen, and Marky as they vie for their students' divided attention. See why Cosmopolitan called its premiere season a masterclass of comedy, while Glamour raved it's the year's funniest and most heartwarming new comedy series. FX's English Teacher, all new Thursdays on FX. All episodes now streaming on Hulu.
This episode is brought to you by Nespresso and Samara Origins by the Weekend Coffee Collection.
Introducing Samara Origins. My collaboration with Nespresso is a connection to my roots, to my mother, Samara. Coffee that hits the right notes. It transports you. Crafted with unique notes and bold soaring flavors. Experience a taste that moves you. Nespresso and Samara Origins.
Discover more at Nespresso.com.
We at Pack Your Knives love to draft, so much so that we decided to draft Top Chef contestants live on the podcast. Drafting is the best, and if you're into fantasy sports, I got a stat for you. Did you know that your chances of winning on Draft are 80% better than on salary cap sites? That's why Draft is my favorite fantasy site. No more getting crushed by the pros. And it's not just me. More than 1 million people that have already downloaded Draft too. Play in a real live NBA draft right now and be done in under 5 minutes. Get paid out the very next day. Drafts are filling every second, so you can join one whenever you want. All new players get a free entry into a real money draft when you make your first deposit. But make sure to use my promo code HEALTHY, HEALTHY, HEALTHY. That's right, play in a real money draft for free just by using my promo code HEALTHY. But it gets even better. Draft is so sure you'll love it that they're even offering Pack Your Knives listeners a money-back guarantee of up to $100. Just search Draft in your app store or go to draft.com and play free right now with promo code HEALTHY.
It's Pack Your Knives. I'm Kevin Arnovitz.
And I'm Tom Haberstroh.
And we're joined for today's recap and analysis by a key contestant on season 15, Tyler Anderson, chef owner of Millwrights in Simsbury, Connecticut, chef owner of the Cook and Bear, where I had a delightful dinner 2 weeks ago in West Hartford, Connecticut. Tyler, this is a wonderful surprise.
Hey guys, how are you? Pleasure to be on.
Hey, you forgot one, Kevin. I'm going to correct you. You forgot one little title here is the number 1 overall pick of the Pack Your Knives inaugural draft.
Oh, the top draft pick.
Yes. And Julia Child avatar on Skype that I'm staring at right now.
I put that up for you guys. I thought you'd like that.
This is wonderful. Wait, all right, so before we start, it's a great episode to recap. Give us full context of that photo. So for our listeners, and if you watched the show, you saw that they cut to this photo from your childhood of you basically dressed as Julia Child, holding kind of in action, holding a tray of food or prepping. What's the full context for this?
I mean, the full context is pretty simple. I was 10 years old. It was Halloween, and I wanted to be Julia Child. Most boys were G.I. Joe. I was Julia. So, yeah.
Well, in this gender fluid world, we thank you. That was a wonderfully brave gesture as a child. So typically, Tyler, we kind of just, go right into the recap. I mean, what do we need before we do that? So this was the episode that started with the elimination quickfire that went into the double elimination with the cooking and the omelet, which you fortunately didn't have to participate in, and then ultimately the food truck challenge. What additional background or fun bits can you give us to kind of inform this entire episode?
Well, I mean, there aren't very many fun bits. Can I say bad words on this show?
Oh, absolutely.
Right? Yes.
We encourage it.
Okay, all right. Yeah, okay. I've listened to every one, so I should have known that already. So, quickfires fucking suck. You walk into the Top Chef kitchen, and it's always like your heart is pounding out of your chest every time. And you see Padma, it's a quickfire. I hate quickfires. I just don't like them. And then you hear it's quickfire elimination, and it multiplies all that by 15. So nobody's having any fun. It's not a fun environment at that point.
Is it just the sheer stress of the clock, or is there something other that is something else about quickfires that are just onerous and terrible?
I mean, the deal with the quickfire is that you can it truly doesn't matter how good you are. You can screw something up that is so small that will just put you at the bottom of a quickfire. So at least elimination challenges, you have more time to think them out. You have more time to execute them. You have all these things, whereas one little tiny thing, like say your oven isn't set to the right temperature, you're the best cook in the competition, you're going home, on an elimination quickfire.
Well, Kevin has a theory that, I don't know if it's a theory, Kevin, but this idea that you could be the greatest chef in the world and you could suck at quickfires, which is kind of counterintuitive on a chef elimination show or a competitive chef show, that you have something in there that seems very not really required of a chef, to be at the top of the game. It's almost like having an NBA finals and, oh, by the way, we're raising the hoops like 15 feet instead.
Right. I mean, the entire contest is, it's a great gauge of who is good at cooking. But ultimately, it's a completely different game. You guys do basketball. So it's like the difference between, playing street ball in Venice Beach or playing in the NBA.
Yeah.
Right. Or just having Haruki Murakami or one of the greatest living novelists to say, okay, you have 4 minutes to write 500 words. Go. And produce a masterpiece. And it's very possible that the AP writer, who covers news and Chicago could outdo the greatest novelist alive in 4 minutes.
And I would, honestly, I would put, say whoever I think is the best chef in America. Say I put Thomas Keller, who's obviously one of the best chefs in America, against Michael Voltaggio, who's probably one of the best top chefs of all time, into Top Chef. Michael Voltaggio is going to beat Thomas Keller. But is Michael Voltaggio the better chef? No. Thomas Keller's the better chef.
We asked this, one of the questions I had is, especially given your pedigree and the recognition you've always gotten, and this is something Tom and I have been discussing, is, first and foremost, why do this? Right? You've got a Beard-nominated restaurant. You just opened your second place. Actually, the sequence might be off there. I don't know if you opened Cook and Bear before or after the show. But in any event, why subject yourselves to 5 guys in a room, bunking the absolute torture that is being a contestant on reality? I don't think people realize just how miserable your existence is as a contestant on a reality show. You're essentially in jail. Why did you do this? You didn't need it.
Great question.
He wanted to be on this pod. That's it.
Yeah. It was, I'm in a small market, obviously. I'm in, the greater Hartford area of Connecticut, Simsbury. And there aren't a lot of small market chefs that are represented in it. So I sort of wanted to go in and represent the small market chef and be like, hey, there are people cooking outside of the large metropolitan areas that are throwing down, to the ability of those in those areas. And, it's great exposure. Honestly, it's huge exposure. And it gives me a more national presence. I have a concept, Cook and the Bear, that I want to grow outside of this state. So, it helps with that. And you know, you say it's miserable, and you're obviously very familiar with how reality shows are. It is like being in prison, but it's like being in a very, very, very nice prison.
So like one of those white-collar prisons with a golf course.
Yeah, the Martha Stewart went to. Yeah.
It's not quite to the level of being like, you know, like a drug czar who builds his own jail and then gets to stay in it, but it's like, it's pretty close to that.
Right. So we're going to continue this conversation over the course of the reviewing the actual episode, which seems like a good thing to do, and let's interject here and there. So you guys, as you said, there's this elimination challenge. Padma springs it on you that, oh, by the way, this is an elimination challenge. And then you guys just have to go with this Denver omelet reinterpretation. By the way, these are my favorite kind of challenges where, because I am a big deconstructed thing. Like I love the idea that we're now going to be treated to 13 completely different interpretations of one of the kind of most basic items on a Denny's menu. So it was this is my, because the canvas is small enough that everybody sort of has to conform, but you can kind of just completely blue sky it once you have those 5 ingredients. Remind us what you did.
So I basically took a ring of an onion, like a raw onion ring, and I made a tart out of egg, like inside, like basically a little quiche inside the onion ring, which they didn't talk about on the show, but you know, they cut for time.
I mean, that was noted. There's there's certain players who just, I guess they can't get to 14 of you guys, and they just kind of, sit that one out.
Yeah, I mean, if you end up in the middle, usually your dish isn't described that much, if you've noticed, for good reason, you know.
In the NBA, this is called the wheel of mediocrity.
Yeah, the treadmill of mediocrity, right? You're the Charlotte.
You're just in the middle.
You are the Charlotte Hornets of the Denver omelet competition.
Yeah. I love my dish for it. You know, like, you know when you cook like shit and you know when you do pretty well. And I thought I did really well on this one. But, you know, I ended up in the middle. And then I made like basically, you know, in quotes, a little like ravioli where the ham was the skin of the pasta and the egg was the filling.
Ooh, that's very nice. Brother Luck wins it with smoked eggs and kind of a Japanese breakfast concept, which I thought was... I didn't even know you could smoke eggs. I guess you can smoke anything.
Yeah, I mean, you can smoke anything. I don't know how you smoke eggs in 30 minutes, but he did it.
So that's another thing, and to the extent you're able to talk, I'm always overwhelmed by, like, the complexity of these dishes in 25 minutes. Is there? Do you literally start from scratch, or are you allowed to have your prep materials? Like, to the extent you need to, or is it? I mean, literally, is it like the show where you're just completely? I mean, go, and 20 minutes later, it's on a plate.
Yes,
it's that's unbelievable.
Exactly, it's exactly as you see on TV.
That's unbelievable. Like, just the sheer complexity of it. I can't even. It's incredible. So and then we had the bottom 3. I mean, Tom, what happened? We had Tanya, Rogelio, and Laura.
Here's. I just gotta ask Tyler. Were you as just? Was the tension that high watching Laura in the moment, or was it only until afterwards that you felt just how just soul crushing that experience for Laura was? I think she couldn't find a pan. She had to wash it for the elimination quick fire. She was shaking.
Wait, we're talking about the omelet, the second stage here for our listeners.
Yeah, well, just the whole thing. I think the whole quick fire experience. She went into the elimination, obviously, for the quick fire, but it seemed like she just was off that day.
Yeah, I mean, it was maybe even more tense than how it came across on TV.
Really?
Because you know, like when we're cooking, like, I mean, when I'm cooking, I guess I can only speak for myself. It's like I don't see anybody else. I don't give a shit what any other contestant's doing. I'm not paying attention. I can't hear anything. I can't see anything. I don't want Tom talking to me. You know, leave me the fuck alone and let me cook. But you know, as soon as that was over, then we're observing them, you know, making these omelets, and it was very difficult to watch, especially when you know that somebody is a very talented cook, and the situation is just not working out for them at all.
So Tyler, just to review, the omelet is among the most classical beginning chef school tasks around, right? Like it's a very and I remember first getting my first Joy of Cooking book, right? And the way that like an omelet is so precise, it is the ultimate chemistry experiment for a beginner chef, right? Like you can't really. You can't make any reinterpretations. It's very specific. It has to be a certain amount of fluffiness. As everybody said on the show, you can't brown it. It is the ultimate. I guess it would be kind of like taking a basic grammar test for somebody who's a writer or something. I mean, it is. It's very basic, but it's also very precise, right? Like technique. It's the ultimate test of basic technique.
Right. It's basically difficult is what we say.
Right.
And it's not an easy thing to do. And, a lot of us have made hundreds or thousands of these things. But when you're on Top Chef, it makes you second guess the things you know. So you're thinking like Tom is telling you make a basic French omelet and you're like, this is Top Chef. They can't actually want me to just make a basic French omelet. There has to be something else to it. And I think that's what happens. You start reading into what do the judges want out of this competition? And you overthink things. And I think all three of them overthought it, which I do the entire competition is I overthink the shit out of everything.
Do you have do's and don'ts? All right, you're in that Denver omelet situation. I mean, the parameters have been given to you. I mean, are there general rules the old, hey, don't do risotto, which is sort of a Top Chef rule that's been adopted by players over the years. Like, what are some of your do's and don'ts if I were going on to be a contestant tomorrow and I needed your primer for how to fail or succeed at a quickfire?
At a quickfire?
Yeah.
Specifically?
Yeah.
Don't ever do fish and cheese. Don't be a slob. Try to keep it as tight as you can.
Yeah.
And aside from that, if you can pull it off, I think risotto could work. The only thing is you have to remember that these judges have to walk around and taste every one of these fucking dishes. So it's it can take them forever to do it. They put a lot of consideration into what they're doing, and so by the time you get around to something like risotto, it's sort of lost its luster. If it's been sitting there for 20 minutes. So don't do anything. Don't do anything that could possibly sit there for a while and be compromised.
That's interesting. So if you have to prepare that dish with the understanding that it might sit on the plate for 25 minutes.
Exactly.
Oh, see that's an interesting little hack. Didn't know that one. I found the Lara scene so heartbreaking because, I mean, first of all, it just reinforced something that I've come to understand, which is cooking is so fucking hard. Like cooking precisely is so hard. The chemistry is so unyielding. Like you just cannot fake cooking the way you can fake writing, the way you can fake a lot of things. Like cooking,
there's a tangible product that
exactly
you can't fake that. And when the omelet is just bleeding out and she's pouring it into a trash bin, and Padma, you can probably, I'm guessing you can hear everything that Padma says as you're cooking in a quick fire.
Yeah, you can. I mean, you can hear while you're cooking. Like I said, while I'm cooking,
you're in the zone.
I tone it out, but tune it out. But it's I can hear all the comments about the omelets for sure.
Yeah.
What is that thing?
And
I think was the comment? Was it not?
What is she doing?
I heard that.
What is that?
Yeah, I heard that. And a lot of us, we were hoping it all came together for her because the major part of an omelet is the pan. And if you don't have the pan, you're you're up shit creek. It's tough.
Right. Which is, I'm assuming that one of the reasons the proliferation of the scramble at a restaurant in the last 20 years is basically a bunch of chefs saying, "Oh, fuck omelets. I don't want to deal with a goddamn omelet." It's all eggs. It's just eggs and toppings. Just throw it in a fucking pan. Who needs an omelet? Just a scramble. We'll call it a scramble, and it'll feel like brunch.
Scrambled eggs are omelet American.
Exactly.
I make an omelet every single morning. I char the kale. I saute. So I'm an amateur chef here. So I saute the kale, and so it gives a little bit of a char. And then I throw in some mushrooms because they take a little longer to cook. And then I just throw in some tomatoes right at the very end. I crack 3 eggs. I whip them up, and then I throw it in, and I do the whole tucking the the spatula just like, pushing a little bit of the egg out, and then it kind of seeps through. Turn it, and good. 9 out of 10 times, I feel like I have a pretty damn good omelet, but I don't have Padma watching me or Tom asking me questions offhand, and I don't have cameras, and I don't think that I'm national TV. If all of these contestants did those dishes without that environment, you'd assume that it's just a whole lot easier. They can do it, but once you throw in the competition aspect and the cameras and the commentary, it just throws everyone off.
Hey,
yeah, absolutely.
Tyler, before we go, give us your power rankings. Your top 3 eggs, like 3 best egg preparations, like in the world. Just whatever it is, like your top, the best 3 ways to prepare eggs. Just
in the world.
In the world.
Like by chef's dishes I've had.
No. Like the omelet versus the soft boil versus the quiche versus the smoked versus the just in terms of sheer preparation.
You like how are you saying like ones I prefer? How I prefer my eggs?
Yeah, this is you. This is all about you. This is not a. This is a subjective examination.
I love poached eggs.
So
I think they're the quintessential sauce. It's like a packet of sauce you can put on something.
Yes, it is.
So I love that.
It is nature's condiment. It is beautiful.
It is amazing. I'm not a huge fan of hard-boiled eggs like as a whole, but I love them like grated up. So like sauce grabiche is one of my favorite things, and just that flavor of, just like enough of the skunky, funky egg, hard-boiled egg flavor in with like tarragon and lemon juice and capers and pickles is delicious. I love that preparation of eggs. And then like sunny side up on a piece of toast is like, there's nothing wrong with that either. Again, it's the sauce packet.
Yeah, I love yolk. Yolk is.
I love yolk too.
All right, so
would it go down the chin, Kevin?
It would go down because I'm a really as you know, I'm a very messy eater, Tom. Like I keep a very clean house, but I'm a very messy eater. So we get to the elimination challenge. And this is.
Ooh. Let me hit pause here.
Go, please.
Yeah, someone hit me up on Twitter, and Tyler, you have like 2 experiences. One lived this Top Chef experience. You're actually competing, and then there's this other experience, which is you're watching the show, and it might be 2 totally different interpretations of the same event. And this person on Twitter asked us, JHouse22, any stats on the number of contestants eliminated when the show starts with them making a phone call to their kids and or talking about how much they miss their family? Got to be high elimination rate. I don't have the actual stats on that. I think that would be a good off-season project, Kevin, is to just run through like the production motifs or the production tendencies of when people get eliminated from the show. But Laura opening up immediately as soon as the show opened up with Laura, calling her son or FaceTiming with her son and getting brought to tears and saying how her son coached her up to come on the show. My heart sunk. That was it. I mean, that was it. We talked about it a couple episodes ago about how bios, like when they do a Claudette bio just about her upbringing, it was like, that made me feel like Laura was gonna go with that opening. Did you feel the same thing, Kevin?
Yeah, it's always a kind of a mind fuck to figure out. Okay, are they giving us? Are they zeroing on this character because they're going to be eliminated? Because this is their final send off? Because they're the point of friction for the episode? Or hey, they want us to be vested in this person for a very long time, and so there's always a little bit of a mind fuck on just exactly why didn't we get a lot of Tyler in the first 30 minutes? Oh shit, is he in trouble? It's like he's going to live with us for several more weeks. Like that is sort of a constant. Just kind of you're always checking yourself.
Do you look forward to seeing how they cut up and prepare the dish of the episode, or are you just like, you know what, it's hard watching myself? This is really like nails on a chalkboard.
Kind of both. I mean, you're always like I'm a little nervous. I'm a jackass, like through and through. So, and they have so many hours of interviews with me, so they have the ability to spin me like in whatever way they can. So it's always a little nerve-wracking. They didn't have like an openly gay character, so last episode they certainly made me the gay character of the show. Which didn't bother me one bit. But I was worried they'd make me look like an asshole, which I'm not. But you're always a little worried about how they spin you. But honestly, like they stay very true to everybody's personality. So if you say something shitty, it's going to come off. But they don't weave characters. They seem to have stayed pretty true to like who people are. So the only thing that like made me nervous was that I don't really like watching it, honestly, like in public. Like last night, my fiance drugged me out to the restaurant to watch it, and I hate that. I feel like I'm having a birthday party for myself or something. I'd rather watch it at home, like where I can hear it and like focus on it, So a little of both, I guess.
No, it's the sports fan, and there are many of us out there that when your team's playing truly in a huge game, rather than gather at a party, you want it to be alone in your house watching the game. That's all. That's how I was with like Braves games during their kind of 90s runs. Is everybody want to get together? I'm like, no. I need to be alone with the game.
My time, yeah.
So what do we need to know about this challenge, the food truck challenge? Anything, give us some backstory that obviously doesn't make it into the episode. First of all, what is the drawing of knives ceremony like? Because obviously there were going to be 4 teams. Each of you drew a knife. Is it a little bit like when you're in like 3rd grade and you do something like that and you look over and like, now I have to be with Sal?
I feel like it's bullshit when Joe says like, hey, I would have made this team. This would have been my teammates, my picks for my team. Bullshit. You're just trying to be nice. Like no one gets the team that they want.
Probably not bullshit with that team, honestly.
That was a good team.
There's a few combos I would put together, but there are combos that are going to work perfectly for certain situations. And for a food truck situation, that was a really ideal combo.
Well, tell me why. So why do you like, because that was your team, Mustache Joe, you, and Fatima. First of all, I love that team. I've got, I've got Fatima. You guys you're clearly top of the heap. What about that combination? Tell me what is it about that challenge and these other 2 people that was perfect for you?
Well, beer den, you don't want to be with the entire beer den in a food check.
Right, that's type of like Mustache Joe's a little bit of a strong personality. He was a little bit of a dick in previous episodes. I mean, not in a 20-something male sort of way, but not terrible. But why those 2 for this thing?
I mean, Mustache Joe is only a dick if you let him be a dick. Like he's not a dick, but if you need somebody to take charge, he'll know that he needs to take charge. And that's. Sometimes the situation necessitates that. In this case, he didn't have to. None of us really had to. But yeah, I guess first and foremost, I was glad I wasn't with a bunch of bears, because then it would have been like a bear sauna in the food truck. And we had a great face in Fatima, somebody who could be there and be at the window and be selling all that, be selling the stuff and be that face while Joe and I handled a lot of the heavy lifting, like as far as the cooking went. All 3 amazing cooks, and kind of 2 people I hadn't really gotten the opportunity to work with yet in the show. So love that opportunity. But it's just like a good flow. Our styles work together. We melded on a menu. We made a cohesive menu. So instead of deciding to be like, oh, we're going to do tacos or sandwiches or whatever, we sort of wanted to make a progressive menu that started with, something pretty light, like a tomato soup, went to something a little more heavy, I guess, like a chicken wing, and then ended with dessert. Because we knew everybody was going to be eating all 3.
Yeah, that was always an interesting debate, and Chris went the other way with the sandwich team, with the it was funny because my orderliness kind of veered toward them on that. Like, yeah, you know what? You're all using the same good bread, and you're putting different things. It's a sandwich truck. And I was a little skeptical of the progressive, but you guys kind of proved me wrong.
Tom had the question, is it food or service that you care about? And I was like, well, actually, wouldn't having a consistent prep help you with the food product? Like, it would make things way more efficient in my mind and save more time to get the plating, to get the cooking right of your dish. And I was like, that didn't seem like mutually exclusive. That are you about the service or the food?
Right. Tom and I clearly think the same way. You and me. We're both systems freaks.
Yeah, it has to be. I mean, it has to be a balance of both. But this is Top Chef, so it's you lean more on the food than you would at a restaurant. But this is like the classic Top Chef mindfuck for the competitors, because if I had a food truck and I was sent out and trying to like do business, like actually make money, I would do a sandwich truck or a taco truck I wouldn't do like a progression of dishes like we did. But we knew that in this situation, that everyone would be eating all 3, and so there'd be a little, palates would get bored if we just did the same kind of thing, if we themed it the same way.
I want to ask you about your dish because, first of all, explain to me the chemistry of why it is that a good vodka tomato sauce is like the best tomato sauce ever. I'm thinking about Courtney's store here in Los Angeles at John and Vinny's, a restaurant I probably don't like as much as most people in Los Angeles do, but I will tell you, I will go there with a straw and a thermos for the tomato vodka sauce. And you did a little vodka in your a dish I wish I could taste. Again, the only failing of Top Chef as a spectator event is, at the end of the day, unlike Project Runway where you get to see the dresses, you don't get to see, you can't taste the food. You can only assume it's good. But yours got rave reviews. And I want to understand, what is it about vodka? Like, that's such an odd pairing, and yet every good vodka tomato sauce is just the best thing ever.
Right. It's a very strange dish. Like how it works, I really don't know. So the whole idea, the whole premise to our food truck is that it was hangover cure. So we wanted something a little sinful, something a little healthy, and then a little hair of the dog and everything. So everything had like a little vegetable in it. Like Joe had his kale. I was obviously heavy on the tomatoes. Fatima had strawberries, so there were those things. But I have no idea why the fuck vodka works in vodka tomato. To me, it's more about like tomato, shallots, garlic, and cream. But if you do it without vodka, it just doesn't taste as good. I don't know what it adds.
So for the hangover purpose, it's kind of methadone in this particular dish. You're just kind of weaning people off the previous night.
Exactly. And the trick to my tomato soup is I like doing smoked tomato soup, so I smoke half the tomatoes. Half the tomatoes are fresh. It's typical. It's like a very typical vodka cream sauce, but then I blend in kimchi. And it gives it like this real round funk.
Ooh, that's good. Hey, let me ask you a quick cooking question. You're this wonderful resource. We have you for like 40 minutes. Let's, how do I I think of smoking things like I have to go out and buy a green egg and like get really into it. But it seems like on Top Chef, there are people smoking things clearly like somebody smoked an egg within 20 minutes. And it's not like y'all had a pit there. Like if I wanted to be amateur smoker at home and smoke something briefly, like how do can that like can a normal intermediate home cook like myself do something like that?
Yeah, what's the smoking hack?
Yeah. As somebody who's like just kind of getting into the barbecue business and learning a lot more about it, like the more I do that, the less I believe in sort of ghetto smoking techniques. So I would say that the green egg
apple
is your best bet. But if you have to do it fast and you want to do it like inside, there's something called the Polyscience smoking gun, and it's like this. I'm sure you've seen it used on Top Chef. It's like a marijuana smoking apparatus that was converted to a kitchen apparatus.
So
which blows smoke, and you cover it like with saran wrap, and you can smoke anything.
So I could just convert what I currently have essentially into a productive kitchen tool.
Yeah, as long as it has batteries and it can suck the smoke through, and then you just sort of enclose it like in plastic wrap in a bowl or whatever and let it sit 10 minutes or however long you want to let it.
Yeah, I'm just always jealous of like because, again, it seems like if I want to smoke, I got to go get this big apparatus. I was like, no, I see them on Top Chef. They smoke things with it's like the dorm, like with an apple. I mean, essentially, you just like create this smoker or something. But
Kevin.
Yes.
Kevin, I know we didn't really talk about this in the past, but I know you are a closet freestyle punk rock music fan, just like Tyler.
I think Tyler is much more. I dabbled in Bad Brains and the Cramps and but I wasn't really a hardcore. I would not characterize myself as.
Well, I just felt bad for Tyler because he was on Top Chef and he said there's unfortunately not a market for freestyle punk rock music, but Pack Your Knives is a very punk rock music friendly venue. Is there any sort of freestyle you want to get into?
Who, me?
Yes.
No, I'm not drunk enough. No, it's I guess I never took, I was kind of trying to say I never really took that life seriously. Like Bruce was in a real band, like Bruce opened for Meatloaf. Those guys were musicians. I was just a jackass who yelled a lot on stage, So I guess that's what I meant by freestyle. I was not a talented musician by any stretch. I was more of a riot inciter.
Wait, so there was another band of Phoenix, Kevin. Did you know that?
I did not. I didn't.
Yeah. He was in the original Phoenix. I'm sure Bruce walks around and just says, "No, I was in the original Phoenix, not that one, not that one that goes to Ultra and shit."
Bruce actually has that tattooed on his chest. I was in the original Phoenix.
It's like LeBron, the chosen one, and Bruce has the original Phoenix written on it. Yes.
From the ashes.
So the elimination any stories with hanging out with Logan Paul, who I had no fucking idea who that was, which shows my age. 11 million followers. I had no idea who that guy was.
Yeah, he seemed insufferable.
Hello, listener. It's Producer Maze here to talk to you about Quince and their cookware. Cooler nights mean cozy meals at home, and Quince's cookware has made fall cooking so much more enjoyable. Their pieces deliver the quality and performance of luxury brands, but at a price that makes sense. And they look gorgeous on the stovetop, too. No matter what item you need to complete your kitchen, Quince has you covered. With 5-ply stainless steel pots and pans, nonstick skillets, chef-quality knives, and even ceramic bakeware, which is perfect for cozy casseroles or Sunday roasts. And when you look at these prices, you might think, how is Quince doing this? How do they deliver high-quality items similar to high-end brands that are half the price? Well, let me tell you, they partner directly with ethical top-tier factories to cut out the middlemen and pass the savings on to you. And it's not just cookware. I got myself some bath sheets. That's right. When you're a tall man, you have to use bath sheets, not bath towels from Quince. It's like drying off with a cloud. It's incredible. Upgrade your kitchen for cozy fall meals with premium cookware from Quince. Go to quince.com/dings for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/dings, DINGS, to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/dings.
Listener, listen up. This is important, okay? I'm going to try to save you some money here. If you're still overpaying for wireless, it's time to say yes to saying no. At Mint Mobile, their favorite word is no. You may think like, oh, that's bad. No contracts, no monthly bills, no overages, no hidden fees, no BS. Here's why I said yes to making the switch and getting premium wireless for $15 a month. You heard that correctly. $15 per month. Ditch overpriced wireless and the jaw-dropping monthly bills. And of course, there are all these hidden fees and stuff, but at Mint Mobile, plans start at $15 per month. All the plans come with high-speed data, unlimited talk and text. You're not doing like weekend and nighttime minutes or anything like that. And it's delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. Use your own phone. Don't have to get a new phone. Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and bring your phone number along with all of your existing contacts. I switched months ago. People have asked, did you actually switch? Yes, I actually switched months ago. And I don't know what to do with all this extra money. I've cheated the system here. I've rigged something. This is an Ocean's 11 situation where I'm stealing wireless from Mint. That's how good a deal it is. Ready to say yes to saying no? Make the switch at mintmobile.com/dings. That's DINGS. That's mintmobile.com/dings. Upfront payment of $45 required, equivalent to $15 per month. Limited time new customer offer for first 3 months only. Speeds may slow above 35 gigabytes on unlimited plan. Taxes and fees extra. See Mint Mobile for details.
Hello, listener. It's Producer Maze here to talk to you about Kindred. Now, close your eyes like Owen Wilson during a job interview and imagine a way to travel that feels personal, comfortable, and connected without the price tags and the sterile feelings of hotels or short-term rentals. Now open your eyes and stop using your imagination because Kindred has made it very real. That's exactly what they do. Kindred is a members-only home swapping network. It's not a hotel. It's not a short-term rental. It's a smarter way to travel where each stay feels like home. Here's how it works. With Kindred, your home is your ticket. You earn credits by hosting fellow Kindred members, and then you use those credits to stay in over 220,000 homes in more than 100 cities worldwide. There are no hotel costs or rental fees, just the credits that you've earned. Every stay comes with white glove service, 24/7 trip support, and $100,000 in host protection. Make it easier for you to travel and enjoy yourself and not worry about details. I've used Kindred and I found an amazing home for a weekend getaway in an idyllic location with amazing views and great ambiance. It had everything I needed. And the best part was, it cost me $0. So apply now at livekindred.com and use code DINGS to join for free. Plus, you'll earn 5 nights of travel credit just for signing up. That's right, that's 5 whole nights for free at livekindred, KINDRED.com, code DINGS, DINGS, livekindred.com, code DINGS.
This episode is brought to you by 20th Century Studios' new film, Springsteen, Deliver Me From Nowhere, starring Golden Globe winner Jeremy Allen White and Academy Award nominee Jeremy Strong. Scott Cooper, the director of the Academy Award-winning movie Crazy Heart, brings you the story of the most pivotal chapter in the life of an icon. Springsteen, Deliver Me From Nowhere. Only in theaters October 24th. Get your tickets now.
The family that vacations together stays together. At least, that was the plan. Except now, the dastardly desk clerk is saying he can't confirm your connecting rooms.
Wait, what?
That's right, ma'am. You have rooms 201 and 709.
No, we cannot be 5 floors away from our kids.
The doors have double locks. They'll be fine.
When you want connecting rooms confirmed before you arrive, it matters where you stay.
Welcome to Hilton. I see your connecting rooms are already confirmed.
Hilton, for this day.
I don't really give a shit about Logan Paul, but it was like my kids saw the preview to the episode, and they're like, Dad, did you meet Logan Paul? And I was like, who's Logan Paul? And they're like, the blonde guy who was on the show. And I was like, oh yeah, that dude who so him and Tom, they didn't show it, but him and Tom jumped into our food truck and scared the shit out of me. I almost fell into my tomato soup, and that was kind of my only time meeting Logan Paul. So. Whatever, teach their own. He has a lot of followers. Good for him.
Oh man, that was good. It must have been like seeing a random animal in the wild where it's like, I don't understand that thing, and what is it doing? Why is it holding that selfie camera? And do I have to hang out with that guy?
And what is this dab thing?
I didn't know. Yeah, it was clearly taped 6 months ago because that dab thing is over and dead with. And I was like, oh yeah, I remember dabbing. That was a thing for a while.
I'm shocked. I'm shocked it didn't stay with us.
Hey, Pack Your Knives listeners, buying tickets to sports and concerts can be complicated and confusing, but there is a better way to buy with SeatGeek. SeatGeek is the smartest, easiest way to get tickets of every type of event. Whether you're searching for a last-minute deal, planning a night out, or need to find the perfect gift this holiday season, SeatGeek helps you find the best seats at the best prices, fully guaranteed. There's nothing quite like seeing your favorite team or musician in person, and SeatGeek will get you closer to the action for a great value. I have the SeatGeek app on my phone, and it's by far the easiest way I've found to shop for tickets. I can be anywhere, and with just a few taps, I can instantly find seats. I just recently used it to buy tickets to Trevor Noah's stand-up here in Charlotte. He's coming into town. So I went to SeatGeek, and it's great. It's designed to make your ticket buying experience easier than ever. SeatGeek saves you time and money by searching multiple ticket sites to compare and find amazing deals. And to get you the most bang for your buck, SeatGeek grades every ticket based on value to help you immediately identify the best seats that fit your budget. Plus, with every purchase, it's fully guaranteed, so you can shop for tickets on SeatGeek with confidence. Make SeatGeek your go-to app for finding the best deals on every type of ticket, from sports and concerts to comedy and theater. Best of all, my listeners get $20 off their first SeatGeek purchase. Just download the SeatGeek app and enter promo code HEALTHY today. That's promo code HEALTHY, HEALTHY, for $20 off your first SeatGeek purchase.
Tyler, how are you able to keep an eye on other teams? I guess in the food truck, certainly not. It's not like an open kitchen. You have no idea what's going on the other 3 teams at this point, do you?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm a little bit of a jackass. So when I have time, I'm going over to the other trucks, bothering them, and saying hi. I was making soup with croutons. So it's my entire day was not spent, developing that dish. It was a pretty simple one. So yeah, I was checking other people out. Other people were having a lot more problems than us, so I was reveling in their misery a little bit.
Yeah, the Bruce truck kind of really that was sort of a shit show, that entire truck.
Yeah, that truck was really, really tough, and it's and reveling in misery, that was a joke, but it's like we were trying to help them out. We were trying to do whatever we could, let them use whatever on our truck, and then Tanya had, she's trying to make waffles, and she has no electricity until like 20 minutes before the people get there. So it's tough. It's food truck, and it was like luck of the draw with, ours worked really well. So,
by the way, clearly the producers of the show, the fix was not the fix in terms of who won, but they clearly sabotaged half of these trucks. I mean, come on, right? I mean, that's. I mean, they have to. Their job is to create drama for people like Tom and me who are watching at home. Like, clearly, they're gonna kind of short circuit an oven, or. I mean, that was at least my interpretation. Maybe it's just that the industry standards for food trucks are really terrible, and but I kind of got the sense that there was a little, a little thumb on the scale there.
This is Adam Silver walking into Game 1 of the NBA Finals and saying, "Yeah, I can't believe the air conditioning is not working properly today." Yeah. That would be a fun little twist.
As a competitor, like, and as a competitor whose food truck was working perfectly, I'm gonna say that they do everything they can to give you the best possible environment to cook. Like, there's no sabotage going on, in my opinion.
Fine.
But it's just you're out there in a truck that's like unproven. It's a food truck. It's tough. And we all had the opportunity we all like drew to pick what truck we wanted first in what order.
Oh.
And I'm pretty sure that, so we were all like, we saw them all, but the picks came, I think we drew numbers as teams, and then we got to pick, first truck, second truck, third truck. And I'm pretty sure I remember that Bruce's truck was the first pick because it had that really nice convection oven. So the assumption was that everything worked on the truck.
It was the Sam Bowie of food trucks. Hey, so there was what I found very interesting. I imagined it was funny because I thought of Tom Haberstroh when I noted this, because I'm sure he was noting it too, which is there was an interesting wrinkle in the sense that before even a bite of food was consumed, that if your team could sell the most tickets, essentially create the menu that lured the most people, irrespective of whether the food was any good, you got immunity. And so I thought that was a really interesting play, because it basically told the team, like, look, if you can come up with 3 really tantalizing dishes that, Colorado Boulder students will like, you can serve dog food and you're probably okay. Did that go into factoring anything into the menu, or are you just like, let the chips fall where they may?
Yeah, I mean, it comes into play a little bit, but like, I hate all that like people's choice bullshit. Like, when we're there's like,
you're a true elitist. I love you. This is great.
It's like, it's a popularity contest. Like when even like local publications do like, oh, People's Choice Best New Restaurant, People's Choice, blah, blah, blah. Fuck that. Like, leave it to the experts, because it gets tainted and stupid and whatever, and it's not about the food. So we weren't really focusing. So like, we know the audience that we're shooting for, and we know what the parameters of the competition are, and we're certainly trying to abide by that. And we know that having Fatima, pretty Fatima up there with a great personality is going to help, like, bring those tickets. Like, you don't want me up there. Or maybe you do. I don't know. It depends what neighborhood you're in. So we did make those considerations, but it didn't drive the idea.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, I like the play of the hangover cure THC. Kevin, did you pick that up?
Oh no, I did not pick up the
good.
acronym. No, I did not. Hey,
there are a couple innuendos. Joe's sticky, icky chicken wings.
Which, by the way, looked fantastic. By the way, so baking soda was his kind of secret ingredient for texture. I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah, that's a good trick we use.
That's good.
Also, it's great for blanching potatoes. So if you want to make like the crispiest potatoes ever, like, patatas bravas or dish like that, blanch them and put like a little bit of baking soda in your water when you're blanching your potatoes. Then cool them down, then fry them, and you'll have this amazingly crisp potato.
Oh.
Ooh. Speaking of potato, walk us through the winning dish, the potato dish that you had a couple of weeks ago.
Sure. So I put some baking soda into some water.
It's literally use that technique.
Yeah. And Joe was on my truck, and I'm going to share techniques with people on my team, and he shared techniques with me, and we go, we want to win, so we're helping each other out as much as we can. So do you want to hear the full dish there? Or?
Yeah.
Well, as your winning dish, you take a victory lap.
Okay. I like cooking vegetables more than meat, honestly. And I like, I like cooking things like potatoes, like humble things, because I think they're more interesting. If you could do them right, you could do more with them. So I wanted to highlight the potato. So the dish was highlighting the potato and doing something that I love. I smoked meat, highlighted the potato, and it turned out good.
Well, did you know how good it is to be the first elimination challenge winner? I know there was a little quip by you on the actual broadcast, but is that something that you guys talk about going into the first elimination challenge, is just how big winning that one is? And why do you think that is historically been a good predictor of overall success?
Yeah, I mean, I really didn't even know that the success rate was that high. That the first winner, whatever, like had a good opportunity to win the thing. My thing was to take it week by week, and like I said in the first episode, my fiance said make it worth it. So to me, one of the main reasons I'm there is to get exposure, and I know that the first episode has a higher viewership than any other episode. So to win that one was huge in that context, and to come out blazing. And I didn't really know that there was that great an opportunity for the first winner to get to wherever.
Right.
I want to ask about the exposure thing, because now in breaking that down, so are we talking about exposure like more people in the greater Hartford area will come to your restaurant, or when you approach financiers, when you want to take the new place on the road because you want to open one in, I don't know, Washington or Philadelphia or wherever, it helps you secure financing? Like what are the tangible benefits of that, quote, exposure?
Both. And they work hand in hand. The more people who come to my restaurants in Simsbury or Hartford, the more opportunity I have to seek financial growth. The more the more desirable you are from an investment standpoint. So it's it's both. It's both. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's interesting. I remember a contestant named Kelly Lycan from Colorado, coincidentally enough.
Yeah, I know her. Yep.
Yeah, so my family spends a bit of they escape the Atlanta heat and go to the Vail Valley every summer. My mom kind of hangs out up there, and actually it's a relatively there aren't enough good restaurants in that valley, but Kelly Lycan had one of them, and we always loved it. It wasn't a difficult table to get. I mean, it would be crowded on July 4th weekend, but by and large, you could get it. And I remember the summer after she finished 5th, and I forget which season it was just a different ball game. Like, that place was just, it used to be kind of a foodie's outpost. Like, you knew about it and you went.
Right.
Not as popular as some of the old standards in Vail. But then all of a sudden, that summer, and frankly, I thought the quality went down at that point. Like, that place was just mobbed every single night of the week that summer.
Yeah.
She had a potato encrusted rainbow trout that was like one of my absolute
favorites.
favorites.
I've had it.
I love that dish. If Kelly Lycan, if you're listening, I miss your potato, like these little paper thin, almost. It was like a paper mache of little potatoes over that rainbow trout. Anyway. But, the financial question is interesting, and I always wondered if that was, obviously for the younger chefs, that was definitely an incentive to kind of get on the board. I was always wondering for you guys who are a little more established, and this answers that question.
Yeah, in The Bachelor or The Bachelorette, they call it here for the right reasons, which is when a contestant is trying to win the person's hand in marriage, and really they're not there to actually win the competition. They're there to be famous. And so I guess that's the dirty cousin of this exposure question, is like, are some chefs there to actually win the competition in the most pure fashion, or are they there just to be a clown on the TV show and just become the biggest name?
I mean, I don't want to be famous. I don't give a shit about being famous. I like to I like to cook and I like to run restaurants and I like to make guests happy. You know, that's why I do this. So I would have to say that personally, I did not do it to become famous, but I did it for exposure for the restaurants. And
yes,
quite honestly,
and that's a distinction. Yeah,
I didn't really care about winning Top Chef, honestly. Like, yeah, you know, it'd be awesome to win 125 grand would be, you know, that's a great thing and everything, but there's a little more value in it than just that.
So
a lot more value in it than just that.
There were so the challenge goes on. It was a really stressful thing to watch because, again, I mean, I think it was the equivalent of kind of showing up naked to school, that bad dream everyone has. Like, it was like, oh my God, I've got to prepare something and the oven doesn't work. Like, I'm Tanya, as you said, and like I'm making waffles, and you know, it is truly the nightmare version of all that. And so that Bruce's team has a really tough time. As he says, it's all asses and legs in the way because those spaces are so small. By the way, a food truck seems like an absolutely terrible place to prepare food. Like, I have greater appreciation for the food trucks, and I live in food truck land in Los Angeles.
Yeah, me too. I had before I did that, like, I was actually going to buy a food truck for one of the restaurants, and after that challenge, I kind of put that idea on hold.
So the sandwich truck doesn't end up doing well. I don't know if it's a function of the bread or the sandwich, but Chris, who's made some good food, ends up serving a dry fish sandwich. 2 does a banh mi without all the kind of yummy accompaniments. And Adrian's by the way, Tom, were you as fascinated by this sandwich out of Harlem that I was, the chopped cheese?
Yeah, so what, she just like dices up like the burger, and then what was the preparation there, Tyler?
It's sort of like it's a diced up burger. So it's like, you know, they have a hamburger taco in Mexico that is sort of the same thing. So basically you sear off ground beef and then you mix cheese into the beef. So it's like caramely. It's delicious. It's amazing.
Yeah, I wanted that one real bad. Like this was like almost my ideal kind of nostalgic elimination challenge, only because I love hangover food. And so this was just the perfect event for me, because each one that came out, I was like, would I want that tomorrow morning? It's Friday. We're taping this on a Friday, and I'm back home in my hometown of Westport, Connecticut. Shout out to Connecticut. And so the fish fry sandwich, no, I don't want a fish when I'm hungover. I don't want that. I don't want a salad.
Yeah, that was a salad. The corn salad that was Rogelia's, I felt terrible for him, but I knew the minute he chose it, I'm like, ain't nobody want a corn salad when there's a chopped cheese or a tomato soup or a, you know, or a waffle there, and chicken over there. Like what do you like? I just sometimes the judgment, and he seems like a wonderful chef, but sometimes the judgment of the contestants. It's like the minute I'm watching at home, and the minute he said, "I'm going to do a corn salad," I said, "You are toast. You are
the thing
so
is
gone."
If you do the salad, Kevin, right? If you do the salad, you got to fucking nail it. Like 2 did on their first quickfire, where he did that corn dish. And I recognize it wasn't like a fratty event of hangover food.
Because I think context is important, right? I mean, coming out of the box at a quickfire versus an elimination food truck challenge that's basically geared towards, drunk college kids. Tyler, so if I'm going to do, like, here's my idea for help me out here. So if I wanted to do kind of a chopped cheese interpretation at home, I'm thinking I'm going to go get some really good sirloin ground, marinate it in a kalbi or bulgogi, because I live in Los Angeles and that's something you do. Go get some make a good brioche. And like, what cheese would I use with that? With the Korean marinade?
Oh, I mean, that's a tough one because, you know, in Korea you wouldn't use much cheese.
Right.
So they're not like, they don't get along. You know, some things don't get along there together. Like I want something super melty, and I would probably, if I'm using the Korean sort of marinades, I want something pretty neutral. I think like kind of maybe Fontina or something like that. That's just gonna like melt out quick and just be ooey gooey
and caramelize those onions.
I wouldn't do the bulgogi and cheese. I don't think.
Okay.
It's not like, I would keep it pretty straight away.
Okay.
And also, you know, just real quick back to Rogelio's dish, and I'm not saying this, you know, just to come off like the guy who wants to be everybody's fucking friend on the show, although, they're all friends of mine. I don't necessarily want a corn salad when I'm hungover, but I sure as hell want Mexican street corn.
See, that's the thing. Like, why
Yeah.
not just go with the Mexican street corn with a cute little, like, what's the little flourish you could have done to make it at least interesting?
I mean, you could do a million things with that. You know, it's
Hosea
open
said
game.
it's dying for vinegar. Was his
like a
comment.
dipping sauce or something?
Yeah, you could. I mean, but you know, then you think this is back to this thing. You're like, it's Top Chef. I can't just like grill off pieces of corn, you know, and make like super traditional Mexican street corn. So you overthink it and you make it easier to eat in a salad. And you know, if the preparation is done well and the acid is there and the temperatures are right, I think that could come off really, really delicious.
Yeah.
Did this feel like a mini Restaurant Wars? I mean, you don't have to get into whether you did Restaurant Wars or not, but like, did you, when you were conceiving this idea of the food truck and you're naming it and who's going to be the front of house and what is going to be the theme of the menu, that seemed like a mini Restaurant Wars to me watching at home.
100%. It was like minor league Restaurant Wars.
Yeah.
So, and then ultimately, the Down the Chin folks won the popularity contest with their kind of cheese inside the burger from Carrie, who's, by the way, picked up some confidence. I'm very happy. I like Carrie, and I was happy to see her win the previous week and do well. Joe Flam, who was my sleeper pick, and obviously, Tyler, you know the outcome, and we're not going to ask you to even tip your hand there. But I even loved his Denver panzanella. I thought was a brilliant idea. I don't know that it was any good with that challah toast. Ooh, that challah bread. That was wonderful. And then, Tanya did her chicken and waffles, which, given she comes from Brown Sugar Kitchen, is a slam dunk for her, and I'm sure it was wonderful, and they said as much. And but you guys won, and like Fatima, by the way, rose water and pistachio, like Fatima does something every single week that just warms my heart. Like I love that kind of Near Eastern pistachio rose water. Like that's how I like my desserts, which my boyfriend finds ridiculous because he's a chocolate molten lava guy. Like, give me all that. But I love like a Middle Eastern. I'm excited. I hope I get a chance to eat Fatima's food sometime in the near future. I don't know where she's going to end up, or though I suspect she'll be a very good chef for a very long time, because I love everything she's doing. I just love everything she's doing.
And it's like the key to those like the flavors she uses is that, rose water can be terrible in the wrong hands. Awful. It can ruin a dish, but she's like so good at what she does that the balance of her flavors are amazing, so she doesn't just dabble in that world. She's one of the best I've ever, like her food is some of the best like Middle Eastern style food I've ever had.
I'm going to ask you a difficult question.
Sure.
And I beg your pardon. You're the president of the United States. You get to select from your fellow contestants of season 15 your executive chef for the White House. So that's the person who's basically going to cook for you every day. They're going to every state dinner, every time you have a guest over. This is your White House chef, and you get to choose. I'm asking who the best chef is or anything else, but like who for 4 years is going to be essentially your personal and professional chef.
Wow, great question.
That is. So I'm myself. I'm not Donald Trump.
No, you're not Donald Trump. You're a vast upgrade on Donald Trump.
So I have a palate.
Yeah, you're not making well done steak. By the way, of all the offensive things about the current occupant of the White House, the fact that he eats his steak well done is like almost as offensive to me as various norms that have been broken and eliminated. Like the well done steak is a mark of just a rube, in my opinion. No disrespect to our listeners out there.
Impeach him for that.
That to me is grounds enough.
I'm sure you don't want to get into a big political discussion on the show, but people say it's just food. It's just food. The guy went to Japan and didn't eat a traditional Japanese dinner with is it the Prime Minister of Japan? I don't know.
Yeah.
He instead chose, to eat well done Wagyu beef, which just, that's just not relating to another culture in like the most basic of ways, in a culture that takes their cuisine so seriously. Like, it's embarrassing for Americans.
Oh, and it's not like Shinzo Abe doesn't have access to the greatest chefs in Japan. By the way, like, what a great place to go eating.
Right.
But all right, so yeah, this is the question. I mean, who is?
Oh gosh, I would say this is going to just seem like a homer, but I'd probably say Bruce. He cooks very comfortable, delicious food that you just want to eat all the time. I would probably go into the White House at my current 250, and I'd leave the White House at about 350. But he's really well versed. Plus, he knows everybody. He'd have all kinds of guest chefs coming into the White House to cook for me. And so it'd probably be Bruce.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, we went to Bruce's restaurant last week. Actually, a few days ago. We'll probably do something a little bit later in the show. Pack your knives, maybe a later episode. But yeah, what a meal! We were knocked out by to the point of you gaining 100 pounds, going to 350. Kevin and I, we were sideways about after the third pasta dish. We couldn't move.
Yeah, it's not light food. I've never eaten at his restaurant. I really want to, but I actually ate at his house this Thanksgiving. And the food there was phenomenal.
All right, give me the Thanksgiving spread at Bruce's place.
So it was Bruce and then a couple other chefs. So my father is sick. I live out here. My father's sick, so he was in ICU at UCLA. So my mother and my sister and me were stuck in a hospital room for like 5 days or something. And it was Thanksgiving, and Bruce happened to live like 3 miles down the street or 4 miles down the street. So Bruce was kind enough to invite us over for Thanksgiving. So it was Bruce and a couple chefs like just throwing down. So it was Bruce smoked the turkey, and he smoked it like the entire way through. So a lot of people would like put smoke on it for an hour, but no, Bruce did a 7-hour smoked turkey that just turned out unbelievable. There were like roast vegetable salads. There were Parker House rolls that he made from scratch. There was incredible stuffing. It was traditional but inspired, and in true Bruce fashion, just like deliciously comfortable.
That sounds awesome. It reminds me of a question of like when you guys go home and you're just totally slammed, just done from the competition. Who raises their hand to cook in the Top Chef house? How does that work? Is there like a rotation of, hey guys, it's Tuesday, so that means the Joes are up to cook? Like, how does that work? Would you guys just make like SpaghettiOs and cereal?
No, we were cooking. Every morning we could write down on like a little whiteboard like what we wanted brought from the grocery store to the house. And we would plan meals. So like the prep would happen the night before we were going to eat, so we could have something that was like pretty easy to get to and fast. So when we came home, we weren't like creating a meal from scratch. We were just, heating up something that had already been started. I mean, it's 15 great chefs in a house. It's not easy. It's not that tough to menu plan this thing and get that food going.
Actually, what's funny is that should be one of the challenges or next season, Tom, is Padma and Tom just kind of wander in to the Top Chef house. I mean, living with 14 other amazing chefs, that seems like a really interesting house. Hey, I wanted to ask you, this is a question I love asking really good chefs. So Julia Child, your inspiration, obviously known as being a huge fan of the McDonald's French fry. She always felt like it was kind of a perfect food and just spoken about it in her lifetime. And I think James Beard was another McDonald's French fry person. Do you have when you're let me ask you a question. If you were going to do a 500-mile road trip on a given day from Simsbury off to Cleveland or somewhere, basically the restaurants available to you are those that you would find at American rest stops, etc. What's your favorite just kind of guilty, crappy fast food?
Are you a Waffle House guy? I don't know how much time you spend in the South, but is that something that speaks to your soul?
I've never been to a Waffle House.
That's a Southeastern thing.
Yeah.
I would say I'm a taco truck guy. That's
no. I need mass processed food.
You want skunky funky? Huh?
Yeah.
You know what I love? I love Chilitos. The Chilito from Taco Bell.
Oh, what is the Chilito? Okay.
Talk to me about that.
I despise the entire rest of the menu at Taco Bell, but there's this thing called the Chilito that is this thing that should be outlawed. It's a disgusting idea. My fiance is cringing just hearing me talk about it on the radio or on the show. But it's like, I don't know, like chili and beef. They're shitty beef mixed together with cheese. It's kind of like a chopped beef, just wrapped up really tight in a tortilla to the point where you have to, be very careful eating it because the tortilla might burst.
Okay,
but it's actually pretty damn good.
All right, I'm reading it right now. Taco Bell new chili cheese burrito.
The secret menu. It says
That's
secret menu.
Yeah, it's an old school Taco Bell item that's not on the menu anymore, but if you ask for it, they'll do it for you.
Well, what I'm seeing here is I'm on change.org. There is a petition says Taco Bell needs to bring back the chili cheese burrito, in parentheses, Chilito. There is a Facebook group titled, let's see, there's a Facebook group titled Taco Bell Bring Back the Chilito. So there apparently there's an army of you.
Wait, guys. On Snopes.com, there is a thread about Chilitos because do you know what Chilito means in Spanish?
Little chili, right?
Yeah, but it's a slang for little penis.
Oh.
Yeah. Many things in Spanish are slangs for little penis. There are 84 words for little penis.
It's like in Yiddish. There are like 45 words for being an asshole. Like.
So it says, I even saw it covered by a Hispanic comedian once, I believe on the Latin Kings of Comedy. The comedian said that he used to work the drive-thru, and whenever someone ordered a Chilito, he would say, drive around, I'll give you a Chilito.
That's great. That's actually what I meant by it. That's why I don't know.
That's so good.
And of course, there's the double
animal style.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But that's more than 500 miles from me, so that's why I didn't say it.
You know where I went last night? Or not last week. Last week, Tyler's. I just moved back to Echo Park, a place I lived for many years, and we're near one of the original Tommies. And I don't know where you are on the original Tommies.
Oh, yeah.
But I had a triple chili burger, and it was fantastic. And I normally don't eat that way. I just have to watch it. But I was stress eating, and it was so good.
Yeah, that place is dope.
Oh, God. Los Angeles is a sneaky good burger town, and people don't know
It's
that.
not a sneaky good burger town. For such a healthy eating population, it is amazing how many burger places there are there. Burgers and donuts are so great there, and they're all over the fucking place, like more than anywhere. All I have out here, my options are Dunkin' Donuts, and pretty much that's it. And that's total dog shit.
Yeah,
I go back home, and
this
it's
is going
like
to
I get
upset
a true
Tom.
apple fritter.
Can we call bullshit on? I mean, Dunkin' Donuts. I mean, as mass-produced coffee goes, I do think it's decent. But like having grown up in the South, and then with Krispy Kreme, and then gone out to Los Angeles, which is a donut culture. I don't get the Northeastern. Like all things that kind of get popularized in Boston, it's not that good, other than the pictures.
All right. Well, first of all, no one goes to Dunkin' Donuts gets donuts. I'm sorry. I don't go to Dunkin'.
Coffee.
It's all about the coffee. And if you're going to go recently in the last 5-10 years, you can go and get a breakfast sandwich. I can't remember the last time I actually went to Dunkin' Donuts and got a donut.
I mean, that's good to hear, because I actually have people from New England trying to tell me that it's a better product than Krispy Kreme, and I'm just like, you have no credibility as a human being.
Now, if someone shows up to the office party with a bunch of donut holes, the donuts, like, okay, now we're talking. But because I'm officially out on donuts, I'm not a big donut fan. But if I need a bite-sized donut, I'm okay with that. I'm good with that. But in terms of like, please do not put Dunkin' Donuts on the list of staple Connecticut food, like say the White Clam pizza or anything like that.
Yeah, my favorite donut is R.A. Tamor out here of Alma does a green tea matcha donut for his brunch that I just can't. I mean, I think about all the time. But Ari might be a guest on this show at some point.
Tyler, are there like, what are 3 Connecticut foods that when someone's like, wow, you cook in Connecticut? You have 2 restaurants there. Like, what is Connecticut known for? Like, what do you say to them?
Well, I mean, you just named one. It's New Haven pizza is unbelievably delicious, and the White Clam at Pepe's. And you have to go to the original Pepe's because something about the oven, the water in the dough, whatever, is unbelievable. I love Abbott's Landing lobster rolls. Like, I love lobster rolls. But it has to be like the lobster has to be super fresh, and it has to be like just steamed right before you're eating it. And then just a lobster roll and butter has become one of my favorites. And
I don't want the mayonnaise-y lobster roll. Just give me the butter lobster roll.
No, butter in a bun. That's it. Griddled bun and butter. And you know, like, I mean, those are the two things I really think about when I'm thinking Connecticut food. There are honestly a ton of chefs here that are doing amazing things. You live in Westport. I'm sure you've been to Bill Tabe's restaurant. He's a good friend of mine. His restaurants are amazing. You know, there are people doing all kinds of things here. So it's, you know, it's actually not as bad as its reputation.
Yeah. So, we got to wrap this up, Ken.
Yeah, we got to get.
We could go for days with Tyler. He's been fantastic.
Sir, you've been so generous with your time. I want to say that.
Of course.
I loved my meal the other night. That you at your restaurant, and that.
Good. I'm glad you liked
the pastrami. You know, it's funny. You always eat pastrami sliced, and you forget like there's a certain substance to it when it's like served that way, kind of like a true cut. It was so lovely. And you're a gentleman to come on and educate us on the workings of the show, and we loved hearing from you.
Well, thank you for having me, guys. Anytime.
All right, Tom, you'll update our standings on the Pack Your Knives. Where can they find the standings?
LeverageTheChat.com or Pack Knives on Twitter. There's also a Pack Your Knives Instagram feed that I just started up the other day. If you're not following that already, go hit us up at Pack Your Knives Instagram. We're just going to post the standings there on Leverage the Chat on the Twitter feed, Instagram feed. We're not quite on Facebook yet, but I think this was a good week for you, Kevin, because I lost a couple people on my team. Like Rogelio went out, and then Claudette is still in the Last Chance Kitchen, it seems like. So she's still in the rotation, but Laura, I think, had a tough day. So I'm sad for that. But the standings and all that fun stuff will be on our social media feeds. And Tyler, thank you for winning the first elimination challenge. And I love that coin flip that gave me the number one pick. Tyler, thank you so much for
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Take care.
All right.
All right. Bye-bye.